everyone, it's Sarah, and it's time for Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday is a Goodreads group created by Ginger Reads Laney, where we all talk about our favorite books on Wednesdays. Been a long time since I've done a Top 5 Wednesday, but I had to jump in for the topic today because it is 5 books I want to reread. So coming in at number 5 is going to be Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. And it's kind of like on Malden Pond, if I remember correctly. And it's kind of just reflections about nature and life. I read this book in 9th grade, and I remember thinking it was really boring at the time. But since then, I have thought about it, and I really think I need to revisit it. Because I think there's probably a lot that I could get out of it now that I didn't when I was, 14. I don't know what I was doing when I was 14. Coming to number 4 is going to be Sophie's World by Justine Garter. This is a novel I remember reading in college, and it follows a young girl named Sophie who is kind of learning about all of the great philosophers. And it's sort of an overview on philosophy in that way, in a kind of fictionalized version. I remember really loving this book when I read it, but I would like to reread it because it's been quite a while since I read it, and I feel like there's just a lot that I could get out of it. And I don't really remember it all that well, except I remember that I really liked it. So I would really like to reread this. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. This is one of my favorite books. I feel like I get something different out of it every time I read it. Yes, it is for children, but there is so much in the story of Peter Pan. This is the book on this list that I'm the most familiar with, but it's been a while since I reread it, and I always get something new out of it every time I reread it, so I think I really need to do that maybe over the holidays. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I read this book when I was in 12th grade. I remember really loving it at the time. I can remember vaguely what it's about. It's about a group of kids on this island, and they kind of have to create their own form of government, and it just turns out to be completely disastrous. I thought it would be really interesting to go back and read this book now that I've read kind of all this young adult dystopian literature, particularly The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games really kind of reminded me of the experience I had when I was reading this book. But I don't remember all the details of this book, so I feel like it would really be a good one to reread. And it's pretty short. And coming in at number 1 is going to be The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. This to me feels like the ultimate coming-of-age book, the ultimate kind of book about being a teenager. I remember really loving this book when I read it, but it's been a while since I've read it. I think I read it in high school or college. But it would be interesting for me to see if I would love it as much reading it now as I did when I was, 18 or 20 or however old I was. So what about you? Are there any books that you really want to reread? I would love to hear from you, so leave me a comment down below. If you made a Top 5 Wednesday video, link to that as well. I will go check it out. I'd love to see your top 5 books you want to reread. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos about books, writing, and music. I talk more about writing and music than I do about books, but I'm trying to at least make 1 or 2 book-related videos a month because I do love reading, and I do love books, and I love BookTube, and I love the whole community and talking about books with all of you. So, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.